Welcome to Porchlight, a presentation of Porchlight VNA and Home Care, providing top-rate, highly personalized care to individuals and families in the Berkshires and in the Pioneer Valley. And if you live in the Pioneer Valley, there's probably a good chance that you at least know about, or more likely also have attended in the past, the Kielbasa Festival in Chicopee. And I have the owner of the Kielbasa, I think that's the right term, right?
Manager legally.
Yeah. Tom Kielbasa, which is pretty awesome. Kielbasa, I'm sorry, I want to get that right.
Either way.
I mean, you have a name, a guy with a name Kielbasa, selling kielbasa. That's pretty awesome.
It's ironic, and as a child, I grew up in Chicopee, attended Assumption parochial school, and every nun or mostly nuns back then would call me Kielbasa. It was just a running joke, and we used to get the kielbasa from the Kielbasa Festival. They'd serve it, they'd cut it up, we'd have kielbasa sandwiches, or they'd do cube kielbasa with the government cheese. Oh, I loved it.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's good stuff.
So now you grew up in this. This is a family thing, and you grew up eating kielbasa. I mean, it's really healthy stuff. Right?
Oh, it's yeah. We used to have. I remember it was a joke. My friend used to always come over, Johnny Wilson, and we would have. He'd come over just randomly, and we always seemed to have kielbasa with mashed potatoes and green beans. Kielbasa, mashed potatoes, green beans. Or kielbasa with pierogies. We always had that, kielbasa with pierogies. But I didn't start managing the event until last year, until 2013. And before that, the festival was sitting dormant for 17 years. Nobody was running it. And Kielbasa was just a name in the city. It didn't have anything to do with the festival. It was just a joke. What do you own the Kielbasa Festival? But the festival started in 1974 by an Irishman. It was exactly.
Of course.
I believe it was O'Leary. I believe his name was O'Leary, and he great spirit for the city. And he recognized they were doing the Irish parade in Holyoke, and they recognized that Chicopee had these 5 Polish makers, sausage makers. So he said, "Why not have a kielbasa festival?" So it started off. They charged $1. It was a riverfront festival, right down now where Falls Pizza is, down in that area, and it was $1 to get in. They had the first kielbasa festival. Eventually, it ended up going to behind the Fairfield Mall, and it went there till 1997. At its peak, they had over 80,000 people attend the festival in
awesome.
1 year. 80,000 people for a kielbasa festival.
That's awesome.
And every year, they would make a bigger kielbasa. The first one was, I think it was 40 pounds, and it would be 60 pounds, then 102 pounds, then 140. And I think the last one was 400 and something pounds, this gargantuan Frankenbasa stitched together.
And to be, I guess, a legitimate kielbasa, it has to be all one piece, or how does
this is the argument. This is my argument as the manager that wants to make. We're bringing back the King Kielbasa this year. Last year we had a beautiful kielbasa display, this beautiful big braided kielbasa. It was cool. This year we're bringing back the King Kielbasa, and I said that I didn't want this stitched up, looking, hacked up piece of meat. And I understand a kielbasa, to be a kielbasa, has to be, it's 3 products. It's pork, seasoning, and the casing, and something else, right? And then it can't touch itself when it's smoking.
We'll go back to that, exactly.
Right,
it
can't touch itself when it's smoking.
Okay.
All these other things. And for me, it's about showing a really big kielbasa. I don't think a little kid in the festival cares that the meat's touching itself. I think they want to see a really big kielbasa. So I will bring a really big kielbasa, and if it's disqualified, then it is. I'll deal with it. But we don't have the means.
By the powers that be. But you're the manager, so who are the judges here? What is this?
Right. I mean, I think we're just starting. I'm gonna let Blue Seal do what they do, and they're coming out right now. It's a busy time for kielbasa makers. Everybody, Burnett's, Gowans, Blue Seal, they're cranking it out right now to get ready for Easter.
So these are the companies that make kielbasa in Chicopee.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. First of all, I'm sure you know a great deal about kielbasa, perhaps more than you ever knew, maybe growing up.
Sure.
Even with your name,
right?
But which is so fascinating. But that's that. But what actually is kielbasa? What is it made of? How is it made?
Sure, that's a great question. So kielbasa is a smoked product. It's a sausage. It's a Polish sausage, and don't quote me on this, people. Pork, seasoning, pork casing. It has to be a pork casing, like the casing has to be pork, and maybe something else. Maybe. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's the fat, the meat, the seasoning, the casing, and they smoke it.
And it's that little something that
Right. I can
mystery
tell
stuff
you,
that
it's
gives
not
it its
cheddar.
character, right?
It's not cheddar. It's not these other things. The second, like the diehards, like the true kielbasa makers will tell you, it's just those simple things. And when you smoke it, it can't touch itself. It's not like another sausage where you can just kind of put it around. A kielbasa, true kielbasa, doesn't touch itself. So that's why you get this round thing. And when they used to make the big kielbasa, they made sure that it didn't touch itself. They made a special smoker. They had a special case to hold it.
And by being able to have it not, it doesn't make contact, so therefore there are parts it's all getting smoked. Is that the
Right, so
point?
it's all
Okay.
smoked, and that's really the big part. And
That's
then
the key
they make
part,
these
yeah.
little kielbasas, the little tiny things, and they double smoke them, and it's fantastic. You just eat them raw. Oh, it's so good. I love kielbasa.
It's fantastic.
I'm getting
So
hungry
it's,
now. I should have eaten lunch.
I know. Did you bring any? Or,
I didn't.
oh,
I didn't.
no,
I
okay.
I know better.
That's too bad.
I have
okay.
I have an event tonight, and if I eat kielbasa all day,
Because I could just let you talk for a while and I'd be munching away at it. But
no, we'll get closer to that.
But now, when did it go dormant, and what made you or others decide to bring it back?
Okay, so fair question. I think what made it dormant, and I think this is the lesson that I've learned and a passion that I have for the event is why did it fall apart? Well, O'Leary in the club that was the Fireball Club. They teamed up with the Chamber of Commerce, which is why I'm associating with Porchlight. Right, it all kind of ties in. The Chamber of Commerce ran it with the Fireball Club. Became a huge production. Became a lot of work. It involved a lot of time for the chamber. It involved a lot of time for the Fireball Club. And the Big E was picking up a lot of steam. And I think the Kielbasa Festival was becoming more of a parking lot festival before the Big E. And then it just kind of lost its kitschiness because I honestly think the Big E just kind of, and then that energy just kind of fell apart. So the two groups stopped working together for whatever reasons, and it just sat dormant. And they talked about purchasing some land in the city, the old airport or airplane drive-in, airport drive-in, I think it was called. They looked into that, and that didn't happen. And they talked about holding on to the business name so somebody like me couldn't come and take it, and it didn't happen. And then, so fast forward 17 years from 1997. And the city was doing a festival. It's like the Taste of Chicopee, And the gentleman who was running that decided he was going to spend more time with his family and take a break. And a friend of mine, Doug Gerard, said, "Hey, why don't you bring back the Kielbasa Festival?" Kind of as a joke, And it's funny because he's helping me a ton now. He runs a great business, Dugan's Deli, and he helps me out. He paid for all of my catering for last year. I mean, just a ton. But as a whim, he said, "Why don't you bring back the Kielbasa Festival?" And I said, "All right." He said, "You help me out?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll help you out." And now, he's hundreds of hours and for free helping me and donating his time. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of Doug Gerards. There's a lot of people that have just really come together to try to help me out. So I called my lawyer and I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing the Kielbasa Festival. Can you look into it?" So she looked into it legally, and I reserved all the rights for the festival. I went to the Chamber of Commerce to get their blessing. I went and saw Mr. Jindryzik, the town historian, who had all the paraphernalia from the festival over all the years. Everybody gave me everything, and I got their support. The mayor at the time was Burnett. He embraced me and said, "Make it happen." When Koss got into office, he put his arm around me, the whole city council. But it hasn't been easy. But they've helped me along the way, and they've done a good job of focusing on safety, accessibility, and keeping the integrity of the festival alive, and they keep me in check. And they all remember
You seem
it.
like a hard guy to keep in check.
Yeah,
A little bit.
I'm pretty difficult, but that's why we have vodka in the glass.
So it's at Zot Park, right?
It's at Zot Park.
And when it is, of course, it's water. And so, what are the dates for this year?
So last year it was the weekend before Memorial Day, and this year the Great New England Air Show is that weekend. So I would like to support that and promote the Great New England Air Show, which is the weekend before Memorial Day weekend. So our event is Memorial Day weekend. We took Thursday, May 21st, and we're going to Monday, May 25th. and we're going to make it a 5-day event, which is great because it gives us Sunday night. Most people have Monday off, so Sunday night becomes an extra night.
Right.
It gives us
Weekend,
a little,
another weekend night,
it's
yeah.
another weekend night, and for an outdoor event, if it rains for 2 days, we still have 3 days we can run the event. And I don't take all that risk and feel so scary. It's a huge risk. It's massive. It's a big undertaking. So Memorial Day weekend, we hope to leave it on that weekend every year. People will know Memorial Day weekend, you go to Chicopee, you go to the Kielbasa Festival, and every year it gets better.
And so what goes into it, aside from a ton of work and hours and all that, we have these vendors that are actually, the manufacturers, the producers of Kielbasa in Chicopee. Now, at the time, originally, there was 5 of them. How many are there
3.
now? There are 3.
Just 3, yeah. And you have Chicopee Provisions, which is Blue Seal, which is by far the largest. And they come in, they supply a lot of our vendors. They supply the Collegian Court, which is a Chicopee Polish restaurant. My event, my tent, some of the guys smoking use Blue Seal. A lot of people use Blue Seal. At the Big E, you get Blue Seal. Millie's Pierogies always has Blue Seal. So there'll be a ton of Blue Seal at the event. They make the big kielbasa. We have Burnett's Deli. Greg is great. Him and his father, very big supporters of the festival and the Polish Cultural Center. And they get really involved with that, and we're really incorporating that a lot more into the event this year. And so Greg comes out, he makes his own. He's the only guy who makes his own kielbasa and comes out and slings it and sells it to you. It'll be Greg handing you the kielbasa, and he ran ragged last year. It was wonderful to see. I saw him Saturday night. It looked like he got hit by a train. He had a line all day, the envy of the entire fair, a line all day, and he looked wiped out. And I looked at him and I said, Greg, how you doing? And the smile on his face, and that's why we did the Kielbasa Festival. It's a tremendous opportunity for kielbasa makers. It's a tremendous opportunity for people in the city. It's a tremendous opportunity for Porchlight, and to be able to bring that. That's part of what it takes to do that. And then there's Gowron's, who is over on, I believe that's Fuller Road, next to the White Eagle package store. The guy doesn't even have a sign on his building. It's like a piece of packaging paper that says Gowron's, and he tapes it to the window. And he sells out of his products every week.
That's fantastic.
It's a great Chicopee story. And the guy doesn't want to get bigger. And we have our smoker, Pig Park Barbecue comes in, and he smokes Gowron's kielbasa exclusively. So you can try Gowron's, you can try Burnett's, and you have a bunch of different places you can get Blue Seal.
And so,
and more.
And as you mentioned, Porchlight, a portion of ticket sales goes to Porchlight, which will be used for the Low Income Fund, which is very important to be able to provide Porchlight services to those who may not have the resources to be able to pay for it. So that's a really great thing in another community, opportunity. So, going back in the history, and of course you have wonderful photos on the website, and we'll see some, during the show.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of celebrities, come to the previous, incarnation of, JFK Jr.
Sure.
The late JFK Jr. was there. I know Richard Simmons.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Which is ironic, because you don't usually think, health nut when you talk about Kielbasa, but he was there.
Right. Ivan Putski, the Polish power, the Polish hammer, right, was Ivan Putski. He came out there. A ton of congressmen and senators and governors have made their way out there. And the great thing about the Chicopee Kielbasa Festival is people kind of on the rise kind of came through there. Richard Simmons actually was pretty big at the time, but he was on the rise. A lot of sports players would come out and support the event. And it was just one of the cool things that happened. I think the location helped too. It's right off the Mass Pike. These guys could drive there, get off. Logistically, it really worked out well. And it was tied to the chamber. It was tied to the parade. These are big events, and there's a lot of pull. And 80,000 people, that's some political weight in the city and in the area.
Now, how many people did you have, when you brought it back, and what is your expectation, for?
I'll give you the whole.
And it's interesting because when you do these community events, again, you start somewhere, and then when it's really good, okay, these people are coming back, and then they're going to tell their friends, and they're going to tell their friends. So it does take a couple of years for something to really grow.
My promoter friends say you got 5 years to start making money on a festival. If after 5 years you haven't made money on a festival, then you need to think about not doing it. And I never told my wife that. So I never told her what it cost to put it on until after we did the event.
She'll never see this.
She'll never see this. No, she won't. She's busy. We have too many kids. But in the future, when she sees this, she'll laugh about it. But last year, I never told her what it cost until after. And it's a tremendous amount of resources to put it together and to make it happen. And I do appreciate her support for that. And it takes a lot of people to put it on.
And you're a musician.
I'm a musician.
So that's the other side of what you do. You come from a family of musicians, but you do the drumming.
I'm a drummer, yeah, drumming and some backing vocals, as we'd like to say. I'd like to do more, but I wasn't blessed with a good voice. I was just blessed with a voice.
Yeah, but you come in with those harmonies that make it pop. Make
pop, explosive words,
Explosive.
crash, boom, bam,
bam.
Yeah, right.
And what bands are you?
I'm in a band called Orange Crush.
Orange Crush.
And I think we were the first 80s band. I'll argue that. I think there was a band called Velveeta out of Washington, D.C. that I heard about, but I can't really talk about it. The band has been around for almost 20 years.
No kidding.
And in fact, we have a band in New York that took the name, and they say they're us to get gigs in the New York area. We've had to deal with it. It's kind of funny. But the band's played over 250 different colleges over the years. We've played 23 different states. As O Crush, we recorded original 80s music, and we've got licensing deals. Just recently, we were on Off the Boat, the TV show, and we've been on Community, NBC, ABC, Fox, Hallmark, Logo, Cartoon Network, a lot of different, shows that the music got onto. And we're actually working right now. We're developing our own TV show, believe it or not, and working on more licensing. I can't even believe the opportunity that the good Lord has given me.
What's the TV show?
Well, it's the future of the Kielbasa Festival. I mean, this is really fresh. I mean, this is.
So this is like reality TV.
I want to do. I've been into kids music forever. I have all these kids, and I listen to the Wiggles and Imagination Movers and all these Disney shows, and it's fine, but it drives you nuts. And I just want to hear something that I would actually listen to.
But it drives you nuts.
Right. Something that that I would actually listen to. And so as a musician, we started writing it, and it got sidetracked, and it turned into something else. Now the thought is kind of have this Monty Python family show called the Kielbasa Festival that in turn promotes the festival, and the festival promotes the TV show. And right now I'm working on 8 festivals. And the goal is to move it and get it going across, and as let it get bigger, and as the family gets older, let it develop a little bit more. So kind of a Monty Python meets Spinal Tap meets the Wiggles.
That's a no-brainer.
Duh.
How come no one has ever done that before?
Yeah. So we start shooting tomorrow, actually. So it's really
fantastic.
exciting, and the Kielbasa Festival is going to make some different noises. And we're working on bringing in some national acts to the festival to continue with what they used to do. I was so close to getting just the person I wanted, and it didn't happen. So next year I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, but the famous stories of the people who the producer wanted to get in the role, didn't get it, and of course the rest is history, because that next person becomes the one that everyone knows about and becomes famous and so forth. So
and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
If you could have gotten Ice Cube 30 years before he was Ice Cube, it would have cost you like a 20-pack or something, right? Now you want to get Ice Cube, you're talking $500,000, and the cost for entertainment is ridiculous. Like a decent name, a solid name, is going to set you back $500,000 plus. And how at a local level, how do you compete with that? How do you do that? Because I'm competing with the Big E, unfortunately, the 4th largest festival in the country. And unfairly, that's my competition, because it's 2 towns over. And people say, well, why would I do that? The Big E's right there. And so that's what you're up against in the area. And everybody deals with it, whether you're the Taste of Springfield or you're anything. You got that Big E right in your backyard just saying, we do it the best. We do it the best. We're the Big E. Watch how we destroy. Every year we do it better and better. And they're a great organization.
Yeah.
They're great. You can go there. You can talk to everybody. They'll talk to you about everything. They're very open. And they've been a tremendous help, in what capacity. And I've had a tremendous help from the business community, people like Phil Bollier Home Improvement, Chicopee Savings Bank, and Teddy Bear Pools, and all the different banks and all the different organizations. And it's humbling, you cry. It's a great job because you get to cry
Yeah.
for the right reasons. You know, a kielbasa didn't fall on you and hurt you, and you're like, you're crying. You're crying because of great people. You know, they trust you with their funds and the expectations that they think you're going to fulfill.
And so again, as we have a few minutes left here, Tom, you know, it's Memorial Day weekend, but it's 5 days. Again, a big undertaking as far as, you know, the amount of time, you know, putting into this festival, and actually how long the festival is, which makes the logistics, of course, that much greater and so on. But so you got a website as well, and
That's right.
And so how can people, you know, sort of learn more, and they can get tickets probably right now, I'm sure.
No.
No, not quite yet.
Right, just to have that awkward moment.
Well, who's going to get the tickets ready? Come on, let's go.
So April 1st, I mean, this is a really great program. April 1st, we're starting with our PTOs, and we're doing a PTO drive, and Porchlight is participating in this. In Chicopee, you can drive to the Porchlight location, and you'll be able to buy these discounted tickets. You'll be able to buy the discounted ride bracelets I'm going to talk about, and the discounted VIP. They all give money back to the nonprofit that is doing it, whether it's the PTO or the Chicopee High Band or the Chicopee Comp Band or Chicopee Comp Hockey's involved. Aaron Pajak's been helping me a ton. Or Porchlight, or there's still a little bit of time if somebody else wants to get involved. So we have a day pass at the gate. It's $10 to get in. In advance, you'd be able to buy it from Porchlight for $6, and Porchlight's keeping 50% of that to go into your things, right? So $3 to get into an event. And Saturday I have 9 bands. $3 for 9 bands.
Fantastic. And those bands are?
Oh, well, Saturday is 80s Day. So we have a polka band, of course, because it's a Kielbasa festival. And then we have a Tom Petty tribute, Stevie Nicks tribute. Orange Crush will be there. We have a Heart tribute. We have another 80s band. We have a Pink Floyd tribute. I mean, it's massive. And our light show is second to none in the
And
area.
those are extraordinarily popular, those cover, you know, bands.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because and people, of course, love that music. And
That's right.
You can't always make it out to Tom Petty, you know, wherever Tom Petty is.
Right.
But you go to, you know, Chicopee and see it. That's fantastic.
I would
those
argue,
are very popular.
Yeah,
those
and I would
bands.
argue that tribute bands a lot of times give you a better sounding rendition of the band than if you went and saw Tom Petty nowadays, because now he sounds like, you know, Tom Petty, you know. But the tribute guy will try to make him sound like Tom Petty.
Sound like
heyday.
from the 70s
Right,
and
so
80s
you
and
get it,
early
right.
90s. Yeah.
You know, you don't go for strung out Tom Petty. You go for, like, you know, mid-year strung out Tom Petty. I got to do some recordings in one of his studios in St. Augustine, Florida, and it was really great. I got to record on his drummer's drum set, and here's some, like, recordings that never got made out, and a good crew behind Tom Petty. Just a little side note. $6 tickets in advance, right? April 15th or to May 25th at Big Y, you'll be able to get them there too. We give $1 of every ticket for the Big Y sales to the Red Cross. Through the PTOs and through Porchlight, you can buy a $15 ride bracelet, okay? This ride bracelet's good for 2 days. It's good for Thursday and for Monday. You got to buy it in advance, so if it rains, it is what it is. But $5 of that $15 ticket's going back to Porchlight or to your PTO, meaning if someone buys a ride bracelet from you, they or their kid get to go on all the rides all day Thursday and all day Monday for $5 a day. Plus, it's free to get in. On Thursday and Monday, if you come in with a student ID, it's free to get in. Normally, the event 12 and under is free. 13 to 60 is $10 at the gate, right? So it's free. And now you can go on the rides for $5 a day. So I'm trying to give as much as I can back to people, you know. So if you have 4 kids, you know, you're dropping, $60 on ride bracelets, but you're going for 2 days. You're giving $20 back to your PTO, which is huge. And your kids get to ride on rides for Thursday we're open 4 to 10, that's 6 hours, and Monday we're open 10 to 10, that's 12 hours. It's 18 hours for $10.
It's a lot of hours of rides.
It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of stuff to get coming back. And then we have a VIP pass that we're selling. It's $20. We give $5 back, and that gets you into all the VIP events. You know, where you get to sample all our free kielbasas, all the swag bags, all the stuff, all the free comp stuff, and all the meet and greets and all that cool stuff. And it gets you into the event every single day. So it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're going to make it for 3 days, pick up the VIP pass, you know, because you get a lot more than just the entry fee.
Awesome.
Trying to keep it, and then this year we have the Chicopee Braves are running my ticketing. This is the football organization and cheerleading. They're running my entire ticketing, all of it, and the Colleens are running my VIP booth and dealing with people. And the city is starting to run the festival again like it did when it was the most successful.
That will be a great.
Which would be great.
Once you kind of get that full collaboration, buy-in and so forth, then that's where the magic happens. So.
And if we can get it profitable within the first 5 years,
that's right.
Then we can start doing more.
Don't tell his wife.
Then, then we can get it. Then we can get it more, give more back to the city. And it'll in turn do the same thing. And if we keep it fiscally responsible, and we stay on point, we listen to the community, we bring more stuff in. There'll be more kielbasa this year, more Polish culture. We're doing a big presentation on Wojtek, the Polish bear. Do you know this story?
No, I don't. But make it quick.
Okay. There was this Polish bear in World War II. He could huck these huge, not missiles, but shells, like 200-pound shells to this gun and help defeat the Nazis. And I'm telling the story of that. I'm telling Polish cultural stories for people to share and see at the Kielbasa Festival this May 21st through 25th at Zot Park. You can see us at www.k-fest.com. You can see me at 413-205-7583. That's my cell phone number. I go to bed at 8. Thank you for having me, John.
Kielbasa, great pleasure having you on the program. A lot of energy. Love the music stories, and can't wait to hear more about those Polish stories. And being a Polish origin myself, it's awesome. Great culture in Chicopee. We love the Pioneer Valley, and Chicopee is special. There's no doubt about it. So looking forward to it, and we will keep getting the word out.
Likewise, I'd like to thank Porchlight for the opportunity and for the studio and for everybody else, and God himself for giving this to me, because without him I'd be nowhere. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
Thank
this
you.
has been Porchlight, a presentation of Porchlight VNA and Home Care. I'm John Kroll. Thanks for watching.